So we're gonna work on this furnace now. It's a Trane model number TUX1D120A9601AB. Okay, so I just want to show you now. I just connected the R and W, and as you hear, the thing is the inducer motor is humming. So we're gonna check together why it's humming. See, it's humming. If you hear that, so it looks like the wheel is stuck. So I'm gonna show you how to test it, how to check it together. So first, you're gonna try to see if the bearing is stuck. Okay, so as you see, it was humming. So I'm gonna put it back on. Remember, when you connect, see, this thermostat has to connect R and W automatically, but I'm doing it manually. Okay, so R and W usually is for heat. As you see, it's gonna make the humming. Sometimes you just touch the shaft. See, it's stuck. So I'm gonna put some oil on it. I just wanna release it. So it's gonna work hopefully for a minute. See, it kicked. Now I'm gonna try to drop some oil. I'm gonna try to drop some oil here too. So I'm gonna stop it. See, sometimes the bearing dries because there's no oil and it's an old furnace. This is 2008, I believe. So I'm gonna also put some oil on the bearing here. Okay, so now we can start it again. Okay, so when you have a situation like this, all what you need is put some oil on the bearing. Again, it's not for a long term. You cannot just leave it like that forever. And as you see, there are some dirt inside the furnace pushing it out. Okay, so that's how you do it. And I will show you in a minute how to remove it and clean it. So removing the inducer motor is easy. Basically, you have these screws, one here, there, like 3-4 screws, and it comes off. You have to turn the power off first, like usual. Always turn the power off. So there's a plug in here. You just take it out. And then also there's a plug in here. And this one is a little bit different because you have to sometimes I cut it and put it back, but otherwise you have to follow the wire, take it off. I think it goes to the harness anyway, so most likely you have to cut it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to remove it. Basically, there are 4 screws, and there's also 1 screw that connects to the pipe. So basically, you remove the screw. Okay, so this is gonna make it easy for this to move. And then you have these 4 screws. I think there are 3. Sometimes I have to remove this. Let me see if I can reach it from here. I need a longer bit. So basically, that's what it is. You have to remove these screws and it comes off. Now this one, you need to remove this in order if you want to install a new one, or if you want to just clean it if there's dirt in there. Now there's a hose in here with a clip. I will show you how to do it. You need a plier that is long. Let me just show you what it is here. So there's a hose in here. You have to disconnect it, okay, and then the whole thing comes off. Now I think I removed all the screws. 1 here, 1 there, and 1 in here. I think there's another one somewhere. No, that should be it. So I think that hose is holding it. That hose, basically, if you disconnect it, it will allow you to take that thing off. Okay, so basically, here's my plier. You just have to, you know how it is. You press it and you remove it, and then it comes off. Now, in some cases, you might need to remove this whole pan from here, because this sometimes it doesn't come off easy. But see, there are screws here. You can remove them, and then it will come off. Okay. You can remove the panel here, that whole panel. Okay, or there are two screws here that bring the PVC pipe off. Usually I remove these two. Either way, but I think this is easier. So basically that hose comes off, right? Like this. And the motor is ready to go. So sometimes I have to remove this because I want to check, because a lot of time can leak from here. Now somebody put a heat resistant caulking. You know, this looks like it was a new, they replaced it. Okay, so usually this hose you can basically just cut it, so you can put it back later. This is sorry, wire. Okay, so this is ready to go. Now see, you can clean it. As you see, there's a lot of dirt in there. So, and then if you want to replace it, that's how it is. Don't forget to put they call it high resisting or heat resistant caulking or silicone. Otherwise they have a washer, you can buy it, but it all depends. As long as you put something, you're good. So this one was not leaking. Sometimes they leak from here, and if you see my other videos, you're gonna see it. So putting it back is easy. Just make sure you put it like that. You put the hole. Now always make sure the hose, see, this hose has some dirt. It's almost like 1/3 of it closed. So what you can do is just poke it with anything. It happened to have a screwdriver here. See, you can poke it to remove the dirt, because there's always constant condensation going on here. So we put this here. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back quickly, and we should be all good. Okay, and then we're gonna go for the next video. So basically you put these screws back here, and you should be all good. Okay, and then this has to go back here. Now I removed the clamp. You know, you should put it back. Actually, it's here. Put it back. When you tighten this, don't go crazy on it. Just a small kick. Should be all good. Don't go like too much, because you don't want to break it. This is a PVC. You can put the plug back, and this is another plug. You put it here. Then I'm gonna have to strip it and put it back. I'll do this later. So let me make sure we put the hose back, and should be all good. Let me show you the next step, how to check it if there's power coming to it or not. So as you see, I connected my probe to the wire, and then the other one to the common. So now I called for heat, right? R and W. The inducer should come on. Now you see it's 120. So that's how you check if the power is coming to it. And then if there's power coming to it and it's not working, again, it could be the motor is bad. The capacitor is gone. Usually you ask the customers. The homeowner information is very important. You can ask him. If he tells you that it was making some kind of noise, you know the motor was going to do this. So you always ask them, hey, did you hear like a squeaking or anything? So this is one way to check it. The other way is, I'll show you in a minute. So the other way to check it, you don't need the power. You can have the system off. But what you're going to do, you're going to check ohm. You're going to turn the knob of your multimeter to the ohm. So you want to see if the winding is either opened, like no connection at all, or if the winding is burned, it's 100% short. If you see ohm reading like this, which I connected here, you see one to the common, one to the hotline. You can see, now I'm checking the ohm reading. When you see 0.3 to 1 point, any reading, that means the winding is good. Now, of course, it's hard to know. They never tell you what the ohm should read. Of course, they have the specification. It's hard to find it. But let's say you can find the ohm reading should be like 0.31 and you have it like 0.80. That also can help you. But usually, you're going to see either this, like an infinite, 100% open, or you're going to see the other one will be if it's 100% shorted, you're gonna see 0 or 0, 100, like all zeros. That means it's a severe short, 100% short. And if you see this, that means the winding is open. It should not be 0, it should not be open, it should be reading. Any reading like this, if you can be more specific, you can find the ohm reading in the manual specification, or you can call them the manufacturer. Now keep in mind the inducer motor has a lot to do with the pressure switch. Okay, so the pressure switch, I was testing it earlier. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. So the pressure switch basically has to do a lot with inducers. They work together because anything goes wrong with the inducer RPM or revolution per minute, this guy is going to be reading it. And we're going to go later talk about the reading here. You see like a 1.5 water column, inch of water column. Basically, the motor has to be sucking the flame under negative pressure should be higher than 1.04. If anything, restrict the chimney or the flow pipe, and the vacuum or the reading is lower than with this 1.4. The pressure switch will tell the board, "Hey, stop!" It's gonna send a message to the control board, "Hey, stop! There's something wrong. The inducer motor is not able to sufficiently push the fume into the flow pipe." So they work together. We're going to get to it later. So a lot of time, something can be stuck in the flow pipe. A lot of time, the flow pipe maybe could be very long. Like some furnace, they say you can go like 100 feet and you can use only like certain elbows. And some houses can be very big and the pipe can go really long and so many elbows. So the motor can be working really hard to meet the requirement for the pressure switch. And a lot of time what we do, we disconnect the pipe. It's not a very good idea, but we do it for a very short time. We disconnect the pipe and we see if it works. Without the pipe, we know there's a lot of restriction. And also we do the reading. I'll show you later how to do the manometer reading on it. Okay, so now if the motor is humming, it just needs a little bit of help on oil so you can get through the night, or maybe you can have heat for a week. But again, don't leave it for too long because this is like 2008. And I believe somebody replaced this, or maybe it was leaking. They put some silicone on it. So this is all for the inducer motor. Model number, by the way, it's D342094P07. So we're going to jump to the pressure switch in a minute.